don't have to close.
60 seconds.
Okay.
You just spilled that water all over your shirt. Nah, just kidding.
Every time.
Well, the last one had chunks in it, so this one was clean. She must have filtered this one.
Coming to you in about 30 seconds. This is to the T's. 15. There we go, and 10, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand by, Doc. Go.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Salzberg, and coming up next on Pet Owners Hotline, we'll be talking about feasible ways of reducing the number of unwanted dogs and cats.
And roll tape,
Stay tuned.
and dissolve.
Excellent, we're in the show.
Good job, everyone.
All right, Doc, have a good show, pal. All right, coming to you in
Here we go. In
10
10,
seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6,
Five,
5,
From the studios
four,
of Daytona State
three,
College East
2,
Campus.
1.
Stand by,
Dissolve
Doc.
to 3.
Go, pal.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Salzberg, your host for Pet
And
Owners Hotline.
CG1 in.
Volusia County has determined that the uncontrolled breeding of dogs and cats within the
CG1
county
out.
leads to many unwanted strays.
Tape, go ahead and cue up the package.
Constitutes a nuisance and public health hazard. The county has put together a program called the Pet Vet Cruiser. The service will provide low-cost animal sterilization for pet owners who
Ready
qualify.
to
Our guest for this show is
Take
Sergio
two.
Pacheco, the field supervisor for Volusia County Animal Services. Welcome to the show, Sergio. Thanks for having me.
Ready 3, take 3.
So, tell me a little bit about the
Okay,
Pet
roll
Vet
it.
Roll
Cruiser,
tape.
the program,
And
what-
dissolve.
what's involved.
Well, the Pet Vet Cruiser is about a 40-foot
Beautiful.
state-of-the-art bus that does surgery throughout the county, spay and neuters throughout the county of Volusia, west side and east side of the county. People that qualify would have to call up, and it's a scale that they use to see how much they would pay to get their animal sterilized. It can be as inexpensive as $15, as high as $65.
That's a pretty good, that's actually a very good deal. So tell me a little about where does this Pet Vet Cruiser go, and where do they park and do their stuff?
Well, the Pet Vet Cruiser goes to 4 locations throughout the county. It goes up in Ormond at the Rockin' Ranch parking lot in Ormond Beach on Nova Road. It goes to New Smyrna Beach Fire Station, which is located on Pioneer Trail in Wallace. On the west side of the county, it's in Orange City on 1792
That's it.
in Ohio
That's
in the John's Appliance parking lot. And at the Oak Brook Professional Center parking lot on Plymouth and 15A.
And everybody's been watching this, and they can see that this, like you said, is a state-of-the-art. It's basically a mobile surgical suite.
Correct.
And the same sort of procedures are being used here as being used by your regular veterinarians. They have a veterinarian who's doing this. They have a couple of techs in there doing it. So effectively, it's the same sort of process. But obviously much.
Send some phone numbers again.
All right, get ready to
and you
come
can
out
see
of
those
this.
phone numbers there, so any people there, anybody on
Hold
here
on a
that
second.
can look at this particular thing. And if you don't get these or you don't write these down, you can always call the
And
county
dissolve.
animal services, and they'll be able to get you to those
All right,
numbers.
cue up the
Ready,
close.
3, take
tell
3.
me, obviously we talked a little bit about this earlier, but what is the reason for the Pet Vet Cruiser? What's the
Ready,
big deal?
1, take 1.
Well, we noticed several years ago.
And
that
CG1 in.
Yeah, they can get rabies shots there, I think, and get your tags and everything.
And CG1 out.
In some of the cities. Animals that were being put to sleep and actually killed because there were not enough homes for them. And we understood that
One can
people
kinda
could not afford.
lead 'em a little
They were
bit.
living on fixed incomes, low incomes. They couldn't afford to take their animals to veterinarians.
Ready,
So the
2,
county decided
take
to
2.
purchase a
Camera
bus
1, go ahead and pan
and
left
do
a little bit.
low-cost
And push
spay
in just a little bit of
neutering
headroom.
and actually bring the bus over to their
Push
neighborhood.
in a little bit.
That's why the 4 locations
Elena.
throughout the county.
There we go.
Excellent. Now,
Ready,
what
3,
about
take 3.
animals in terms of vaccinations and things like that?
Ready,
Do they offer
1.
vaccinations at these at this Pet Vet Cruiser as well?
They can offer vaccinations, but the main goal was to get animals spayed and neutered, and to give the opportunity of some of these people that are really good, responsible pet owners, but couldn't afford it, an opportunity to get it at a
Marty, we're coming to a,
reasonable price.
oh, wait a minute,
Now,
ready, three,
I'm
take
sure
three?
people are wondering, and
We're
I'm
gonna-
certainly wondering, who foots the bill for this? And
Never mind.
Well,
Ready,
Volusia
you wanna take
County
one?
is the
Like,
one, and
pitch the
taxpayers
phone
are the
number?
ones that
Can you get a
foot
chance?
the bill. But we understand that we
Very
need
nice
something
composition,
like
camera
that.
one.
We're trying to bring the numbers of animals that are being dropped off at humane societies and put to sleep on a daily basis.
Ready,
but
three,
in
take
the
three.
long run, so it does a lot of things. It actually is cheaper in the long run because, you know, as spaying and neutering these dogs and cats prevents the overpopulation. Overpopulation costs a lot of money to handle all these animals that are coming in, right?
Ready,
Correct.
two,
And
take
there are
two.
not enough homes. And eventually, what happens
Camera
is
four,
these
get ready
animals
for a possible
wind
phone
up
call.
at shelters, being killed, and put to
Ready,
sleep
one, take one.
at taxpayers' expense.
So,
Ready,
so
three,
it
take three.
actually, ultimately, it's not only better for the animals, but certainly better for the economy and better for taxpayers in a sense.
Correct.
We want to join anybody who has questions tonight about the Pet Vet Cruiser, about anything that animal
before you're
control
shooting
does,
off to the
and
left
certainly
of the
about
set.
anything to do with your pets. The number is
There we go.
1-800-901-9238. We encourage you to call. Now, tell us a little bit about, now, how long has this service been in?
Ready,
How
one.
long has this Pet Vet Cruiser been in service?
Take
You got
one.
numbers so you
It
can see
started
it?
in 2007.
Yep.
And since 2007, I'm happy to report, they've almost done 10,000 spay and neuters since 2007.
Marty, keep them centered up
That's
a little
amazing.
bit.
So you
Ready,
think
three, take
about it,
three?
every, say, we don't know how many neuters, how many spays, but we know that, you know, a cat, they get pregnant, they have, you know, 4 to 5 kittens maybe. Let's say 50% of those are females.
Oh, boy.
They grow up,
Ready,
they have
four.
4 or 5 per, and that's every season they go in, they may have actually 2 litters per
Yeah,
year.
we're gonna
A lot
take
of
it.
cats and dogs that may, and by
Mm,
doing
ready,
performing
four,
10,000 or
take
so of
four.
these. So, obviously a tremendous benefit to the county.
Tremendous benefit.
Ready,
Again,
one,
it
take
saves
one.
these taxpayers, it saves these animals' lives. And like you said, Dr. Salzberg, if you sit down and you see the 10,000 animals that were spayed and neutered, and you do the math, I would say it's a lot of animals, close, probably 100,000 animals.
And I know
Ready, three,
recently
take three.
we've seen some more stuff about the overpopulation in Volusia County in terms of the cats and dogs,
Ready,
especially I guess
one.
feral cats. And you were talking a little bit before the show started about how the numbers are so skewed towards cats.
Take
Correct.
one.
A couple of years ago, we
Camera
started
three,
to see a trend
tad
of
less
animals
headroom.
being picked up by
Just go in
our
tighter,
animal
maybe.
control officers. And that was 2 years ago.
And
Last year,
center up
it
just a
started
little
to
bit.
slow down a little bit
Perfect.
too. The numbers started to go down, which was good. And most of our animals that are picked up are cats. People tend to feed cats, they feel sorry for cats.
Marty,
They
go
do
back
not
to the right that
take
where you had it
responsibility
before,
to get these animals
and then kind of
fixed.
go down
Most
just a
of our
little bit
officers go out
and,
try to educate the public.
bring the camera down a little bit and tilt up so I can see the dog.
That's your neighborhood
dog's
cat, that's
eyes.
fine.
There you go.
But
Tilt
you
up
need
just
to
a little
get
bit more.
these animals spayed and neutered,
there
because
you
you're
go.
gonna have litters after litters.
Yeah, that's good.
So we encourage people and we try to educate.
Ready, three,
Excellent.
take
Now,
three.
Tell me a little bit about Volusia County animal services.
hold
You
steady
know,
there.
What area you cover?
Center 'em up.
Volusia County, but all unincorporated Volusia County, is that correct?
Correct.
Ready,
We do
one, take one.
the entire unincorporated area of Volusia County, and we do one city. We have a contract with the city of DeBerry to do all animal control in the city of DeBerry.
Right,
Ready,
Now,
three,
you know,
take
A
three.
lot of things we're talking about were, you know, what people
Jazz it up
maybe,
with that
their
wide
idea
shot.
of what animal services do, you know, just like
We're
you said, the
gonna-
dog catcher.
Correct.
It's not true.
Ready,
anymore.
four,
No, it isn't.
take four.
People have a misconception about what animal control is all about. They think, they see cartoons in some movies, portray the animal control
One,
officer
take
as a
one.
dog catcher with the net. No, that's gone out many, many years ago.
Throw that double
Our
shot in there,
animal
just to kind of
control
sort of
officers, all
cut, you know,
state
just to,
Right.
either that or two.
They have a right to issue citations, we also do search warrants, we do confiscations. We work closely with the state attorney's office, for cases like cruelty cases or neglect cases. So
About right
animal
there, Marty,
control
look
has
good.
come a long way. Do we do, animal control pickups? Yes, we do. We do pick up injured animals. We do respond to sheriff's departments when
Ready, two,
they have a
take two.
person that's being arrested and they have animals in their vehicle. So yes, we still do that sort of stuff, but we've expanded.
Ready,
A lot
three,
more.
And how about
Take three.
education programs? Do you do some education stuff?
Yes,
Ready, one,
as a
take
matter
one.
of fact,
We got a
have
phone call,
really
but it's
big
about
education,
arthritis from Pam.
Marty, get ready
some of the
for
education with
a
some of the
phone
kids
call.
that
You
go
wanna
to
take
some of
the
the
phone call, just
elementary
one.
schools, middle schools, high schools, and career
I think we're
days.
just gonna do static shots,
We
artistic
talk about
static
spay
shots
and
of pie.
neutering for the older kids. We also talk about a career in animal control.
Ready, three,
Well,
take three.
We are gonna go to the phone. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Ready to dissolve to 4 and dissolve.
Okay.
I'd like to ask the doctor, what age would you see any signs of arthritis
We're gonna dissolve back to 3.
in a dog? And
Mhm.
what's the best treatment, and what are the signs of arthritis, and the best treatment for arthritis?
Okay,
And
great
dissolve.
question. You can see arthritis in dogs at many, actually, at just about any age.
Let's
and it
put his
really
graphic
depends
in, see if you might.
on the dog, and more, I guess, more sort of generally what breed it is.
And
Seems to be that some of the
CG1
larger
out.
breeds may start having arthritic conditions, and arthritis really, by definition, is an inflammation of the joint. Sort of the classic arthritis everybody thinks about is osteoarthritis, kind of the wear and tear type of thing. But some dogs begin having those problems if they're certain breeds, the larger breeds, sometimes very early age. Things like hip dysplasia is kind of a form of arthritis in that the joint becomes inflamed because of the poor growth or the abnormal growth in the hip. But they can also have elbow dysplasia and things like that. So it could be anywhere. I've seen dogs with horrible hips at 9 months old. Most of the time,
Tilt down a little bit, Marty.
osteoarthritis typically is older dogs,
Just
5,
tilt
6,
down.
7, and older. Again, larger breeds tend to be
Yes,
more
that's
problematic than smaller breeds. The first thing, probably the most important thing that you can do as a dog owner is manage weight. That's gonna probably be the best thing you can do long-term. Keep that weight down. If they get too heavy, they tend to have more, wear and tear on their joints. Second most important thing is good
I
forms
don't
of
wanna break
exercise.
eye contact with the audience.
Swimming is a great form of exercise if your dog's swimming. Walking, things like that are good as well. So you keep them active, keep those joints mobile. If you have a large breed, you may start them on one of the supplements, glucosamine, chondroitin supplement, something like that. Certainly I would call your veterinarian and ask them. And if you get to a situation where your dog does have some of these problems, the symptoms could be anything from, getting up kind of like achy in the morning, like you might get up, or I certainly get up every morning, kind of go groan a little bit and wait till everything gets moving. So those are symptoms. Dogs may just be more reluctant to stand up. You may see an old dog that when they're outside, and maybe a male dog, he lifts his legs and he kind of shakes when he lifts his legs. You may see limping. You may see that they just sort of don't want to get up and move around at all anymore. So all of those are symptoms. Call your veterinarian, they might be able to put your
We got
animal
another call?
on
We got
some
another
sort of
call?
an anti-inflammatory.
Number
But,
4, that looks good there.
Good question, and
We're
give
gonna
you
come
an
to you like
opportunity to answer a very broad set of circumstances.
Another
there.
call.
That's good.
Well, I guess we're gonna take another call.
Ready to
Go ahead,
dissolve to
caller, you're on
4
the air.
and dissolve.
It's about feral cats, you want.
Hello? Hello, caller?
Hi, this is Johnny. I live in St. Cloud, Nova Lucia, but the problem that we have here is we have a lot of feral cats. Try catching a feral cat. It's not easy. And, if you could get them fixed, but, you gotta treat them for diseases because
You
they're
might be coming back to
passing
camera
on
1.
to whatever they breed with and other cats that are around. It's just a big problem, and the pound tells us we have to catch them ourselves and then call them.
No, looks like we're
Okay,
coming.
well.
Ready, 3, ready to, and
I
dissolve.
guess there wasn't a real question, but I can infer a question there. How do you go about doing this? Well,
Ready, 1,
I'm gonna let you talk to the expert.
take
Well,
1.
Here in
Good call.
Volusia County, what we do is we offer
CG1 in.
residents here in the county a trap, which is a free trap. And what we do
CG1 out.
is we show you how to set the trap. Once the trap is set, the animal's caught, we respond and we'll pick
Go
up the
on to camera
animal
1 if
and
you
we'll
can.
transport it to a humane society if it's
Or camera
a
2,
cat
take
that's
camera.
creating a nuisance. If it's someone's cat that they want to
Can you-
take it to a shelter or they want to take it to
He's
their
not
own
looking
vet,
at the right
to get them
camera.
spayed and neutered, we can have them take the cat and then we'll
Ready,
pick up the trap.
2, take 2.
So we do have that type of service.
Ready, 3, take 3.
So we do that as well, right? If you call and you have a feral cat, do you typically, would
That's
you
good.
trap them, or
Morty's
would
got
you do
good
the same
before.
thing and have them trap them?
Take
We,
1.
we do the same thing, we issue a trap and we show them
That's
how to
good for-
trap, they set the trap where they think the cat is coming on their property, and once you catch them, call us.
So it
Ready,
sounds
3,
like,
take 3.
That's a good thing. And We have talked about this in past shows about, those, there's several programs that are sort of, have kind of been in the national news about, trap, neuter, release programs. I know that certain cities have designated feral cats that populations
Everyone's doing a great
they allow
job.
people to feed. They also have, in most cases, I think, attempted to do the trap, neuter, release in those situations. Does the county have anything like that?
31,
The
take one.
county has several people that have what they call cat colonies. And what these people do is, again, they'll trap a cat, they'll take them to their local vet, they get them spayed and neutered, they'll
That looks
notch
nice.
the ears so they can
looks nice,
identify
camera four.
the cat as being a cat that was spayed and neutered, and they'll put it back in the same population. The cat tends to stay within that same population, and they don't reproduce.
33, take three.
And again, there has been a lot of stuff in the news about that, certainly in the veterinary news about the efficacy and things like that of that sort of program. But you brought up, the caller that we had just a little while brought up some great notions there, and that is that they can be nuisances, especially if they're in and around an area that has, a fairly large population of humans and their pets. The disease issues, things like that. The theory behind trap, neuter, release, very briefly, is that the theory is that these fairly, we hope, kind of stable populations will slowly diminish over time if more and more of these animals are
Take two.
captured, spayed, neutered, released into that area, so that they will continue to kind of be in that area, keep out some of the other animals that might come in. But we do know that sometimes
Ready,
this
three,
doesn't
take three.
work as well as we'd like, because people continue to release animals, sort of what this vet cruiser thing is all about, trying to prevent this sort of thing from happening.
Right, we understand
one,
in
take one.
Volusia County, one program is not going to solve the
All right,
problem.
we got another
But
call,
like I
Mark.
said, we have several
Good.
people that
I think
really
it's
do
about a bird.
an excellent job with these colonies and get these animals, and like
See
you
if we
said,
get-
Dr. Salzberg, some of these cats have been spayed and
Marty to
neutered
kind of
with the
pan a
notched
little
ears,
bit.
they keep out the other
Marty, you hear
cats
that? You can do a
come
pan?
in. And within time, they start to diminish
Alright.
slowly but surely. It'll take some time.
Tilt down a
We're
little so you
starting
can
to
see it.
see some of it now in the
There you
last
go, hold it there.
the last couple of years, with combination of education here in Volusia County and the Pet Vet Cruiser. And people knowing that the
Right,
right
wait a
thing
minute,
to do
Mark.
is to get their animals spayed and neutered.
Ready,
You're
three,
right,
take
you're
three.
right. And we're gonna go back to the phone. Go ahead,
And
caller,
start
you're
your
on the
move
air.
and dissolve to 4.
Hello, caller.
Caller.
Hi, I was wondering if those birds, like we have three birds, a Quaker parrot and Dutch blue peace-face lovebird. I was wondering if birds are required daily
Ready,
visits once a year.
ready to dissolve to
I
Three.
didn't quite hear you.
and
I
dissolve.
think that you asked if the birds are required to go to the vet once a year, is that what you said?
They're gone. Not
They're
yet.
gone, say yes.
If that's the question, what I would have you do is probably call a veterinarian that works primarily with birds. Probably not a bad idea, no matter what kind of animal you have, to see your veterinarian at least once a year. You think about if you think about you going to see your doctor, if you go once a year and an animal goes once a year, remember that animal is aging much more rapidly. Now yes, granted that some of the larger parrots may live to be about the same age as a human, and I know sometimes you don't go every year, and maybe when you're young you don't. But for, say, a dog or a cat,
I like that camera 4.
every year that they have, on average, equals about the same duration as 7 or so years. It's not an exact number, so a 1-year-old cat isn't like a 7-year-old.
If it's that
Actually, a
little kid
1-year-old
again,
cat's more
is it
like
that
a
little kid again?
19-year-old. But nonetheless, going to the veterinarian once a year to see these things. So I think the same thing would hold for birds. I don't do a lot of birds. I used to, and many years ago, but I really don't do so.
Another call?
I'm not sure, but I think
I'm gonna
probably that would be
dissolve to you
prudent
right
anyway,
there
at least
for-
once a
Four
year.
for right
And
for
certainly for
another call.
older animals, 2 times, 3 times.
I think we might get another call.
We have another caller.
Ready.
Hello, caller, you're on the air.
And dissolve to 4.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Move just a little bit there, Marty.
Hi, fine.
That's nice.
Nice.
Real
I
slow.
have a 13-year-old toy fox terrier, female.
Aw.
Her name is Star,
Oh,
and I'm gonna say it's going on 3 weeks now. I've noticed the white
you get
part
stuck
of
and
her
it's just
eye,
dissolved,
especially
him.
the why he
Alright,
wants to
ready
use
to dissolve
red,
to
or at
3
times, real red,
and dissolve to 3.
It'll go back to being clear, and then it'll, every day.
We're ready to dissolve. Oh, no.
Okay. Does she squint her eye when this happens?
She's not there now.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't get to ask my questions. This isn't my office. So, if it's one eye that's doing this, and she's not,
let's go ahead
even
and
if she is squinting or not,
put his
you know,
graphic in
I'm
one
gonna
last
tell
time.
you, you're gonna need to see a veterinarian. But certain things like glaucoma can come on in older dogs, and glaucoma sometimes
And
early on stages will
CG
just
one
cause
out.
some redness and irritation in an eye, and it may not seem like it's bulging or anything like that, but the pressure inside can be higher than normal. So something you probably need to see, because, you know, things like glaucoma can be.
We're at 7 minutes.
Certainly can be treated, but there are other things that can happen. You can have cataracts that can form. that
Marty, if
can
we
cause,
do another phone
inflammation
call,
in the eye,
let's try a
secondary
low to high
cataract
shot, a
formation.
nice slow
It could
low to
be
high
something
shot.
simple, like a mild conjunctivitis, like an allergic type of conjunctivitis. So there are a lot of things that may be going on, and many of them, and probably all of them, can be treated and managed. So certainly I would recommend that you go see a veterinarian, because there are a lot of different possible explanations.
Ready
Now, I
to
wanted to talk
take
about,
2?
and I know, I think probably some people will be interested, we talked a little bit about things that you do, like dangerous dog sort of investigations. Tell me a little bit what it is, what's a dangerous dog investigation, how do you do it, what is, you know, how do you deem a dog dangerous, and so on.
Take 1.
Okay. When we receive a phone
This guy's
call,
looking at notes.
we have to conduct an investigation, just like any law enforcement division does. We go out, we
He
get
wants to be a
people to
cop
speak
bad.
to us, we pick up affidavits, we talk to witnesses, we interview certain people about the animal's behavior, and obviously, we have to interview the victim. If
At
the
6
victim was
minutes.
actually attacked or charged, we have to find out what took place, time, date, and day. Once we gather all this information, we have to decide, do we have sufficient cause
When's the
to
last time you
deem
used
the
this
animal
graphic?
dangerous? If we have
A
sufficient
while
cause
ago.
to deem the animal dangerous,
We're not keeping you up, are we?
then we go about giving that person
Ready?
the opportunity, the dog owner. We let them know that the animal
Ready,
has
2,
sufficient
take
cause
2.
to determine that the animal is dangerous. You have a right to an appeal. If that person wants to appeal the process, because there's certain restrictions that are placed on the animal and
ready,
the
1,
owner
take 1.
in order for you to keep a dangerous dog. If they want to appeal it, it goes in front of a
CG1 in.
magistrate or a hearing officer. All the victim and all the witnesses go to this
CG1
and they testify on what exactly took place. If the animal is determined to be dangerous, the dog owner has a right to appeal it in the county courts.
Ready, 3, take 3.
Let's say that we've done all this thing, and then a dog is deemed dangerous. What then constitutes, you know, the set of rules that they have to follow? for this dog
31.
If they want to keep them.
Once
Take
the
one.
animal's deemed dangerous, you have to, first of all, get the animal spayed or neutered if it's not. Number 2, there's certain restrictions. They have to keep the animal a certain way by state law. For example, if they keep the animal in the backyard, the cage has to be constructed
If anybody
on
else
all
calls
four
in,
sides,
send them to the
which is
website.
a chain link fence, sides
Oh,
and top.
go ahead and send
And
this
the
one.
bottom of it
Yes.
has to be built on cement.
We got 4
so you
minutes
can't
left.
dig. That's number 1. Number 2, they have to have a perimeter fence on the outside.
Or if
So
we
they
go to
do
if we
not
go to a phone call,
have a
we'll just do it from right
perimeter
there.
fence, they cannot keep that dog in that type of fencing. They would have to keep the dog
They have
inside
a
the house.
pen, and then they have to
Ready,
have a
3, take
fence
3.
outside the fence.
Correct, and signs.
Ready, 1, take 1.
Telling the public and showing, because kids sometimes
Let 'em
can't
bunch
read,
in that 2-shot.
showing the animal like it's gonna bark or it can bite. We have to, by law, has to be set up that way to notify anyone that's coming up.
I'm
to
not-
the
I'm not real
property
sure if we're gonna
or
use
anyone
it.
that's walking around that there's a dangerous dog.
Yeah,
Then a fee has to be paid, and it has to be walked
we're
on a
at,
short
we're at 3
lead
minutes, so,
and a muzzle.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna use
If
it.
you're able to keep your dog
I'm
with
gonna,
these
Cass
restrictions,
out, tell
then
them,
your dog can be there the rest of the
tell them
time.
to go to the website.
And then
Ready,
you were
3,
telling
take
me
3.
that the dangerous dog who's, that sort of thing is essentially when, or most often is when a dog attacks a human, but
Ready,
there's also
2.
slightly different rules for a dog who attacks another dog or another animal.
Take
Correct.
2.
If the dog attacks another animal, the law, the state law says, and we follow
31,
the
take
state
1.
law, that the animal has to attack
See, I
another
kinda just
animal
smooths
a
them back
second
together,
time
so jump back and
before we
forth,
can
that
place
big
that
wide
animal
shot thing.
as a dangerous dog, and they have to go through the whole process. We do have a pre-dangerous dog
We're
that
at
is
3
sent out
minutes.
when an animal has attacked and severely injured another animal, killed another animal. placing them on a list that if it occurs again, they can be placed as a dangerous dog. Now, certain cities have changed that. I know for a fact the city of Deltona only allows, in their ordinance, one attack on another animal, and they can deem the animal dangerous.
Ready,
Good.
three,
Hopefully
take three.
nobody here that we've watched that has that issue, but I've always been curious about that. Now, another thing that I'm curious about
Four, we're gonna
is,
come to you.
you know, there's actually, I've seen a show called Borders. Now, I know that Volusia County has at times had
Let's
some
make
issues
it
with that. How
dissolve to
often- what- you know,
four
what-
and
First of all, how do you define a hoarder, and then what's the
dissolve.
process before, you know, I've always been.
We're gonna
kinda curious
dissolve
about
to camera
people that
one.
do that.
Okay, what we do is,
Dissolve.
under the law, if you're gonna keep
Mix it up a
several
little bit.
animals, okay, if you wanna live under those conditions, we can't say anything if a human being's gonna be living there, but under the state law, if you keep an animal without clean air,
Camera forward,
okay,
go ahead and go to
in
your
bad conditions,
closing
2
the
shot.
minutes.
animals are suffering, their hair is falling off, or they're going through some other
Well,
physical problems.
you got about
Then
60 seconds
what we
worth of
do is we get,
questioning to go,
we have
so
sufficient cause to go out and get a search warrant and remove the animals off the property and charge the person with neglect.
go ahead and,
Well, again, that,
Put
we
the,
have to investigate
website
all
up.
that stuff, which means we rely on the public.
let's see the close up on the
Step in.
prompter.
Most people
We're
don't
setting
really
up for
wanna
the
get
close.
involved. They know there's something going on next door, but they really don't wanna get involved. We encourage the public to get involved, call us, be our eyes
We're
and
at
our
30
ears,
seconds.
and we can go out and
Kind of drag
investigate
this down a little bit,
see if
and then
these
we'll get ready
animals
for the
are
close.
suffering in those conditions.
Ready,
Now,
three, take three.
Just
Quickly.
quickly, what's the number of animals that you can have in
20.
unincorporated Volusia County? We have to do this very quickly.
Okay,
Ready,
Well-
one, take one.
in the
15.
unincorporated area, if you are zoned residential, you're allowed to have 4 adult animals.
10.
Now, depending what you're zoned, there's certain people that own
Yeah,
10,
go ahead and
15,
roll the-
20 acres.
Go ahead and
numbers
roll the
differ, but most
music.
people that we deal with is incorporated,
Roll tape.
it's 4
All right,
adult
guys, say
animals.
goodnight.
excellent.
And ready, three, take
Well,
three.
I'm sorry, Sergio, but we got you
And
through
bring
that
up the
a little
music
early there.
a little bit.
We didn't have, I hope you had time to get all your questions answered, and I hope you learned a lot about that cruiser. We want to thank Sergio for coming and talking about that cruiser. And if you didn't get your question answered, you can email us at
And CG1 in.
www.wdsctv.org. Sergio,
And
thanks for
CG
coming.
out.
Thanks for telling us about that cruiser. And
Ready to
thanks for
dissolve to
watching,
4.
all of you. And I hope to see you next time on Pet Owners Hotline.
Dissolve. And CG1 in. Change.
20.
Change. 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 Change.
Up.
Change.
Hold it. That's good. Go out.
And ready to kill the black. Go to black and kill the audio in 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom. All right, that's good. Good. Thanks, everybody. You did a great job. Great job. Thanks, everybody. Great job. Great job. Great job.
Yeah.
Woohoo!